What's up, everyone, and welcome into episode number 523, where it is my honor and privilege to introduce a special guest joining this episode, and that is former Kalamazoo Growler and current Northwestern Wildcat, Jay Slater. How are you doing, Jay?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Doing well. Appreciate you joining. I know that's probably toward the end of your semester. Maybe you're done. I know some schools are done. I don't know exactly when you guys are done at Northwestern, but just how's things been going on your side of things? We just had Thanksgiving, so I hope you had a great
Thank
Thanksgiving
you.
as
Thank
well, and
you.
hopefully you're looking forward to a little bit of a winter break here shortly.
Yeah, we're in finals week right now, so most of us are just on campus, not really doing any official baseball activity, but just
Okay.
lifting, practicing, and studying for finals. And then once those are up, we'll have some time at home before we get going in the new year.
Nice. If I knew it was finals week, I would have probably scheduled you for a different week. So hopefully
No
you don't have
worries.
any tough finals left to go. Obviously, it
No
being
worries.
Thursday, hopefully you have one or maybe zero finals left to go. I don't know if you have a Friday
I've got
final.
I've got one next week, but
Okay.
it'll be all good.
Yeah, no, that's not too bad. But obviously, good luck on those. But
Thank
also,
you.
you didn't start at Northwestern. You
Right.
actually started at Duke. So it
Yeah.
turns out you go to really prestigious colleges. Just talk a little bit, just kind of like how you started at Duke and just how's things been going since transferring at Northwestern.
Yeah, well, so I got recruited by Duke my sophomore year of high school. And honestly, just the appeal academically and athletically, Durham's a really cool spot. So I
Yeah.
really liked it when I got approached by them and then went on a visit and just figured it might be a good fit for me. And then yeah, it was great. We had a really good team last year. I didn't really play a whole lot, which was a little disappointing, but
Okay.
again, we had a really good team, so it's all the better. And then hit the portal. Our coach left after the year, so had some decisions to make um,
Okay.
at that point, and then just decided that Northwestern was a good fit.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, obviously, like when a coach leaves, it kind of changes things, right? Like this was a
Mhm.
coach that brought you in, but also with kind of college athletics nowadays, with the transfer portal, that obviously makes things a little bit easier. But it
Mhm.
had to be a ton of fun playing at Duke, though. Like, did
Yeah.
you? I'm assuming you were able to go to some basketball games. I'm sure those were
Yeah.
absolutely
Seriously.
insane. And then you also,
Yeah.
like you said, you had a great year last year. You guys went to the Durham Super Regional against Murray State, which obviously fell a little bit short there, but like you got to experience some really cool stuff there and got to
Yeah.
play some
Absolutely.
high level baseball too.
Absolutely. Yeah. The Super Regional against Murray State, even though we lost, was so much fun, and it was the first. I think it was the first regional we ever had at Duke, so that was
Okay.
it was really cool to be a part of that. Um, and then like right before that, we had the regional at Georgia, and we won, and that was awesome. Really fun experience, and definitely won't ever forget that. So yeah, I mean, in terms of just the experience, like it was good. It was good to have a few opportunities and capitalize on them, but also just like develop over the year, get to meet some great guys, and have some really high level good experiences. It was a good time.
Yeah, how different is that atmosphere when it comes to playoff baseball, especially at regionals, super regionals? I've seen like the fans, especially at like the College World Series, like it is just
Mhm.
absolutely packed, especially like if you go down south, right? Like if
Yeah,
you go to like an SEC school, like in Tennessee, like I remember Tennessee Ole Miss a few years ago went on a crazy run to win the College World Series. Like it's different. And it
yeah.
seems like obviously as a fan, it's incredible. But as players, like, is that like really fun, incredible? But also, is it a little intimidating as well? Is it more of just
Yeah.
like, hey, like this is what we live for, and this is just really cool overall?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's not so like it's different because there's a lot more people there. The stakes are higher, obviously, but
Yeah,
you play 50 something games before that anyways, so you're kind of in that
true.
mode where, you know what, we've done this a million times. Like it's another game and it's a great opportunity. So, I mean, selfishly, like, my first time around, I really thought I appreciated it a lot because it was just, like, you never really know when you're gonna get a chance to be in one of these again, so
Exactly.
it was definitely super cool to soak it in, and obviously, I've been watching, like, college regionals and super regionals on TV my whole life, so it was really cool to be a part of them, and, Yeah, I would say, like, winning at Georgia and, like, rushing the field and everything after, and it was really fun,
I
so
was just gonna say you're probably getting to live out a childhood dream of being able to play in one of those, something that you grew up watching, and hopefully you'll be able to play in one of them at least one more time, maybe even a couple more times at Northwestern now that you're in the Big Ten. But how does it feel to be in the Big Ten? How does it feel to be Northwestern, especially with transferring from Duke? I'm assuming academics was probably another big part of
yeah.
the transfer because obviously, if you go to Duke, if you then go to Northwestern, you talk about two of the best academic schools in the entire country in those two schools. So, like, was it academics? What really kind of attracted you to Northwestern?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, our head coach, Ben Greenspan, he was awesome. He reached out in the portal pretty quickly, and our hitting coach Tyler Rost, he was a guy that was at Duke, so I already had a relationship with him as well.
Okay.
Um, I actually had a prior relationship with our head coach as well, which was great. Just yeah, I mean the academics, you said it. Like I really wanted to make sure that if I was gonna leave Duke, I was gonna get to be somewhere that could match it academically, which is hard to do.
Yeah,
Um, so it felt like a great fit, and then you still get to play Power 4 baseball, which is awesome. And
exactly.
yeah, Big Ten, great conference, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and you also said like you had a relationship with the coaches as well, and people say all the time like how important relationships are, and I think
Right.
that's just one demonstration of it. Is not only having that relationship that led you to obviously Northwestern, but like that's the cool thing about college athletics is you have these relationships that will help you kind of for the rest of your life as well. And
Yeah.
again, that relationship led you to Northwestern, but I also know prior to Northwestern, I do want to talk quite a bit about this, is that you had the opportunity to play in the Northwoods League for the Kalamazoo Growlers. A basically program that does extremely well every single year. If you look in the
Yeah.
Northwoods, it's basically them, the Traverse City Pit Spears competing every single year for championships. Just how different was playing school baseball and then going to play summer baseball? And then just how do you find out about the Kalamazoo Growlers, the Northwood Leagues? I know there's some schools that obviously send players to the Northwoods, like Michigan State does, Michigan does, like kind of
Yeah.
teams around the area does. But like, how does someone from Duke at the time end in the Northwoods?
Yeah, well, so I think I knew in August of last year, like one of my first days of school, our player, I guess our like director of like recruiting, our recruiting director, he
Okay.
recruiting coordinator, I guess whatever you call it. He basically just called me into his office and was like, "Hey, like I think I have a good spot for you in summer ball." They usually like to do it based on region. Like I'm not really
Okay.
from Michigan, obviously, but obviously I'm not from like the South, so I wasn't gonna go to a team down there.
Yeah.
West Coast guys usually go like the West Coast League or something, and then obviously you have select guys that go to the Cape. But um, it was sort of in the area, and he basically told me he's like, "Hey, like ton of games, ton of at bats. Think it'll be a really good experience. We've sent guys to Kalamazoo before, and they've really liked it. And yeah, I just think it would be a good fit." So I was just like, "Yeah, that sounds awesome." And then
Okay.
kind of set it up. And then interestingly, um, the day after the Murray State, like the final game of that series, um, I drove up from Durham to Kalamazoo in
Okay.
like I guess technically over the course of 2 days, but it was a pretty quick transition,
Yeah.
from school to summer ball, and obviously summer ball, like, the main difference is you're not doing school, which is, I mean, obviously more fun, but there's a lot
Exactly.
lot more day-to-day travel and a lot more, like, time at time on the road and, like, time with your team.
Yeah. Yeah, and obviously, like, you end up going up there, like, pretty quickly, which obviously I'm sure was probably a little bit of an adjustment, but had you even heard of the Northwoods League prior to, like, your recruiting coordinator saying, "Hey, like, we think you'll be really good here, we think you would enjoy this," or was it more of like, "Okay, I'll be at Kalamazoo at some point at some time?"
Yeah, well, I guess I hadn't, like, formally heard of the Northwoods League, but I definitely knew what it was because I knew some teams like, I had heard of the Kalamazoo Growlers beforehand.
Okay.
Um, I knew people that had played in that league, and I knew Duke sent guys there, so I would see, like, "Oh, this guy's doing XYZ in the summer," and I would kinda know
Yeah.
that. But Yeah, like, once he told me that's where I was going, I obviously did some digging on my own, like, "Alright, what am I getting myself into this summer?" And, I mean, they do a lot of, like, player fan stuff there, so that was a
Yeah.
new experience, and I don't know, I liked how the community came out a lot, and, yeah, like, it was basically like, it was mostly new for me, but it was definitely, like, exciting from that standpoint.
How did you enjoy like the player fan kind of like interaction? Like obviously like that's just something like you're kind of used to, but it's also a little bit different
Yeah,
style at summer leagues in the Northwoods. It's a lot more involved. Did it take you a little bit of time to kind of get used to it, kind of like get a little bit going with it? Because it's not like banana ball, like it's not like kind of that level, but like
yeah.
there's still a lot more involvement with the fans, with the players through the game, during the game, after the game than maybe what you're probably used to.
Yeah, it was definitely different, especially coming from a really, like, not tense, but a really competitive environment at in super regional, and then you go straight to player dancing in between innings, and I'm standing there like, "I've never done this in my life." But it was fun, and it made the games interesting, especially on days you're not playing, it's like you still have things to do, it was a really cool experience, and I really liked how many fans we got, like, for summer ball, I didn't really realize we get 3,000 fans a night, like, at times, and
Yeah.
especially when we did, like, promotions, and that part was really cool, and also just, like, having a rivalry with the Pittsburghers was a really cool thing, like, going up there and them coming down for the playoffs, and yeah, I really enjoyed that part.
How long did it take you to kind of buy into that rivalry between you guys and the Pittsburghs? Is that something that they kind of like bring up? Is that something they kind of instill a little bit? Because obviously at Duke, we all know Duke, North Carolina, like that's just
Yeah.
kind of what it is. You guys don't like each other at all. Is that something that like you kind of like bought into, they talked about, or is it really kind of like it's a quote unquote rivalry, but not anywhere close to like a Duke, North Carolina type deal?
I don't know, so my first game was against the Pittsburghers, and
Oh, was it really?
my host family told me, "Hey, like, I didn't know anything about it, and they told me, like, "Hey, like, you're going to play the team that, is, like, your rival," and I was like, "Okay," but when I got up there, I mean, it didn't seem like any of their fans liked us and, like, vice versa, like, when we played them at home, it was definitely hyped up a little bit more, so I don't know if it really exists as much through the players because like, your rosters are kinda flipping every year, you don't really
Yeah.
know the guys you're playing, especially in summer ball when you're not like most guys aren't going there for, like, more than a couple years, if that,
Yeah.
so it's definitely not like you actually have a, like, bad blood with the players, but, I mean, if it's a big deal to, the team and the owner and everything like that, it's a big deal to us, so we definitely were very aware of it, and I don't know, especially for me, like, I always wanted to beat them, but obviously they were very good last year too, which also made it fun, so
Yeah, no, absolutely. And what's ironic is I actually had one of the Pittsburgh catchers on here. I've had him on a couple of times. He actually catches at Michigan State as well, so you'll actually
nice.
play against him. So
Okay,
it
cool.
was Adam Broski.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
yeah, so I think you'll probably talk to him, face him at some point. Obviously as a catcher, I'm sure you probably I don't know, like if you necessarily talk to like the other catchers, the hitters at the time, but I know some catchers do, so I'm sure you'll probably run into each other a little bit, but it's just kind of
Yeah,
ironic that you guys are obviously rivals in the head, both catchers. I'm sure you probably played against him at the
yeah,
Growlers and Pittsburghs as well, so I'm sure you're probably a little familiar with him too.
yeah, for sure.
So obviously, like you said, you arrived at Kalamazoo a couple of days afterwards, and how it was a little bit kind of different, like a lot of travel going on, a lot of baseball. Obviously, you don't have to worry about school, but like was that something that not obviously you knew going into it, but like the Northwoods, they try to format it around to be a major league type schedule and style. Like
Yeah,
that had to be kind of a fun, different level of pace because like if you want to do it at the major league level, that's what you're gonna have to do on a daily basis. And it's
yeah.
obviously a different pace, but I'm sure it's probably something that took a little while to get used to. But was that something you enjoyed, kind of having that quote unquote major league type feel at least?
I liked it, yeah. So, I mean, the Northwoods is definitely known for being one of the more, like, time-consuming, like, we were definitely on the road a lot, or, like, our road trips were definitely very formatted and long, and that was something that
Okay.
was definitely kind of an adjustment because we honestly didn't travel all that much at Duke other than for ACC stuff.
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, I liked it because you're around the team a lot. You're getting to do a lot of activities with the team, whether it's like going to the gym or like hanging out at the hotel, being on the bus. But you're really building a relationship with a bunch of guys, which is obviously really important, like we talked about. But um, yeah, I mean, honestly, like there's not anything else I'd want to be doing. So like getting to play baseball every single day and like have your day revolve around being on a team is a really fun experience. So, especially when there's not school in the equation and that's what you do every
Yeah.
day for the summer, it was a lot of fun.
So what was your like day to day like, especially when you're starting a game at Kalamazoo? Was it something that like you probably knew the day before, or did you know like the day
Yeah.
of? Like just kind of like talk a little bit about like a day to day, like what it would look like for you. It could be like a travel day. I'm sure traveling days and playing at home were probably different schedules for you guys.
Yeah. So so like a day I'm catching at home, we would get our lineups sent out in the morning, but for catchers we had three, and in summer ball you kind of just rotate. So
Okay.
we caught like one of every three game, and you maybe DH a different game. Um,
Okay.
so I would wake up, look at the lineup, which was always sent out pretty early. Be like, all right, like I'm in there today. Um, but the games usually weren't until like 7 p.m. or 6:30 or something like that. So you kind of have a lot of time to prepare and chill. I'd get up. I would usually go to the gym in the morning or like hang out with my host family or something like that. And then once you leave the house, your day like kind of starts. So I would either go to the gym or go get some lunch and then just head over to the field, honestly, and hang out in the locker room. You kind of hang out in the locker room with the guys, like be loose, get prepared for the day. And then about like 3 hours before the game, I would go out to the cage and just like get started on the routine hitting wise, and like
Okay.
mobility wise. And then we would do like a team dynamic into BP. So stretching, BP, all that good stuff. And then for
Yeah.
catchers, we would do a couple other things just like getting the body ready to catch, drills, stuff like that. And then you come back in the locker room, you eat again usually, and you like chill for a game. And then probably I would say like 40 minutes, 40 to 45 minutes before the game. I like to go in the cage one more time just to get some like last flips in or like one more feel that might feel good for a game. And then you go out, throw with the pitcher, get on the same page, scouting report wise with him and the pitching coach, and then you get the bullpen, and then you're right into it. So it's definitely a process, and it's kind of like it's long, but every detail is kind of important. So you and like when you do it every day, it just doesn't feel long at all. So
You talk about every detail is important. Did you have any like, or do you have any like superstitions? Like, I know some people like obviously have like routines, like they want to do like the same thing. Some people have different like superstitions. Like, for example, like they might have to put like one cleat on before the other. Like, obviously, like every detail you mentioned is important. Did you have any specific thing that you kind of like know that you're like, before every game, I have to do this, or it's going to kind of throw me off a little bit?
I think I have some, but I honestly don't know if I like am like crazy detail oriented about them. But
Okay.
when the moment comes, I'll always do something the same way just to be like, all right, like I know if this works for me, I'm
Okay.
gonna do it like this. Or like obviously like I have certain drills that I'll do like every day because I know they feel good for what I'm
Yeah.
trying to do. Or yeah, I mean, I when I was younger, I used to have like a crazy amount of baseball superstitions, like sleeping in the jersey, which is a crazy one, but like stuff like that. Um,
Don't do that
yeah,
anymore,
I
I'm
guess as I've
assuming?
got older, what'd you say?
Don't do that anymore, I'm assuming?
No, it's hard to do that one
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, just like kind of doing the things you know, like and like as you're around the game, it like changes a little bit, but like the things you know get you in the right place. Like try to
Yeah.
do those as much as possible.
Yeah, because obviously you wanna be physically ready, but you also wanna be mentally ready as
Yeah,
well,
you want
like,
to feel ready to go. Yeah.
exactly, and if one thing's off, if you don't feel like you're ready to go, you're not gonna be able to perform as well as you want to. And obviously being like a catcher, like you can say like obviously pitchers have to go through like what they have to go through, infielders, outfielders, they have to go through what they go through. But if you really have to be like honest, like it feels like you guys as catchers have to go through so many more, I don't want to say loops, but like so many more steps you kind of get ready, not only physically, but like mentally like locked in, because obviously you have to deal with the pitchers, deal with the pitching coaches. You have all the drills. You still want to get at bats. You have everything that you go through. Like it's still probably a lot, but again, like you said, it's something that you've been doing for quite a while. So like it is
Yeah.
a lot. It is a lot of time, but at the same time, it probably doesn't feel like it is.
Yeah, no, that's a good way to say it for sure.
So obviously, like you mentioned, you kind of like walk through your day to day, which is obviously like a long day. But like going through that, like how important is like recovery, getting mentally and physically ready, prepared as a catcher? Like just like
Yeah.
how, yeah, just how important are those things, especially recovery? Because I'm sure that as a catcher, you probably get beat up, especially
Yeah.
from like tipped balls, like
Yeah.
having to block all day. Like I'm sure you probably have gone through everything and anything that a catcher has ever gone through.
Well, yeah, so it's funny you mentioned that. I had a couple stints this summer, not like long stints, but like I would have something happen randomly and I'd be out. Not like, I mean, not out, but like the next 2 days before my next game, I'd really have to focus on like getting my body ready or else I wasn't going to be at the level I wanted to.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's like on days you're not catching, it's just as important to take the time to get your body ready and right again because you want to feel good for the next time you gonna get out there. And obviously with like college, you're more if you're in there every day, which is obviously the goal for everyone.
yeah,
It's right after the game ends, like you gotta eat well, you gotta sleep well. There's certain things you just kind of have to do to get your body ready, but also like mentally, like I don't know if I even do the best job at this, something that I'm sure every baseball player in the world works on, but, like, not bringing the game home with you, like,
yeah,
when you're home, you're not thinking about baseball, or, like, you have something else to get your mind off of it, so it's not, like, consuming you. I feel like that's a big one because if you get too, like, hyper focused on it, then it usually doesn't get better. And then it's just like you're not, like, balanced as a person.
yeah.
But yeah, I would say just like, yeah, having other avenues of like interest and then also just like taking care of your body, whether it's like doing actual recovery drills and stuff like that, or just like the simple things you need to do.
Yeah, just like you said, making sure you're getting ready. Like I know some people probably do like cold plunges. Some people
Yeah.
might do different, like you mentioned, stretching. Like there's just so many different things that obviously people do different ways of like recovery. Like whatever works for them works for them. Like there's just different ways of doing it. Just you're gonna want to do it the way that you possibly can do it. But then also you have off days as well to recover. And I know you also mentioned some days you guys would DH. Was it fun being a DH a
Yeah.
little bit, or did you kind of like, hey, it's kind of fun to hit a little bit, but like it's a little bit more boring because I'm not as involved as I would be
Yeah.
catching? Like, if you weren't a catcher, would you be kind of bored playing anything else?
Yeah, I mean, naturally you're gonna be a little bored because it's like, yeah, I'm usually involved in every single play, and now I'm just sitting here waiting for my turn to hit. But DH days are still fun because you're like, it's like your off day, but you still get to hit and play, which is like it's a lot less stress on the body, so
Yeah,
it's kinda nice, like, when you see your name in the lineup DH, be like, "Alright, sweet." Like, I don't have to go through the I don't have to do all the preparation with, like, our pitching coach on getting ready to figure out what these guys are trying to do, like, lineup-wise that day, like,
yeah.
dealing with the pitcher. It's like it's a little bit less you have to deal with, which isn't necessarily a big deal, but sometimes those days are fun, absolutely, and just hitting is fun.
I
You
was just gonna say you got free swinging as a DH. I don't want to say free swinging because I'm sure you probably
Yeah,
don't want
I
to
know what
just
you mean,
continue
though.
to hit home runs or try to hit home runs and strike out 4 times, but like you don't have to, like you mentioned, worry about
Yeah,
anything else besides hitting.
right. Yeah, yeah.
And you're also probably body and your swing probably feels a little bit better, so you might have a little bit more power behind your
Yeah.
bat when you're not having to worry about trying to block or trying to catch pitches.
Yeah, it's nice, I mean, absolutely, like, it's nice when you know that, like, alright, like, I don't have to go in between innings and catch a different guy every couple innings. You can just, like, take the time to, like, prepare for your at bats, like, fully, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
probably go like 4, 5, 6 innings, but that's just typically not what happens at the Northwoods. I know there's some pitchers that did that. Just how important is having that relationship with not only your pitchers, but the pitching coach as well, because to like chemistry, like being connected are probably pitchers and catchers.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. It's really important, especially as a catcher, because that guy's job is to get outs, and you're a huge part of that, obviously, like, that's like as a hitter, the one thing that's nice is you don't have to rely on anyone else. Like I mean, I guess you kind of do with the fielders, whatnot, but like
Yeah,
the outcome you produce depends on, or like however you hit the ball is solely based on what you do off the pitcher. The
yeah.
pitcher needs a target. The pitcher needs like a good idea of what pitch to throw here. Like it's kind of like your job to like help them do their job, obviously. So it's really important to like get to know the guys, help build that trust with you. It's funny, like for me, like after high school, like I played a little bit of summer ball before I went to Duke, and then I was at Duke, and then I was in the Northwoods, and then I'm obviously at Northwestern now. So it's like I've caught so many different pitchers in the last year and a half that it's just like I feel like you just start to like get to know every guy as like a new person, and like you don't develop like I don't know. I feel like I'm not really comparing two guys ever. I'm always just like, all right, this is a new guy. Like you got to have like a different way of approaching your relationship with them.
Yeah, because there's probably some guys that you can like when you go out for a mound visit, there's some guys that you're probably joking with them, like he probably wants to like laugh a little bit, and then there's other guys where you have to be like dead serious
Yeah,
about it. Like you
pick
kind of have
whatever
to know the
works for what
pitcher.
guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, and obviously, like you mentioned, like you've had to deal with or like learn like so many different new pitchers, and I feel like that obviously is a unique thing, but also probably going to help you as well because not only helps you with the relationships you have with the pitchers now at Northwestern, but if you have a little bit of familiarity with some of these guys, like when you go up against them, when you're hitting against them, I'm sure you're going to probably have the opportunity to hit some against them,
Yeah,
especially now at Northwestern. I know there's quite a few pitchers from Michigan State that were there, quite a few
yeah.
other schools
I
as
saw that in
well.
Michigan State
There's
guys
that
too.
little bit of familiarity with them, of like kind of they understand you, you understand them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting because you definitely have a different perspective on like what pitchers are trying to do when you're a hitter, if you're a catcher, because you spend a lot of time with pitching coaches or like looking at the data of the hitters you're gonna face, and you kind of know their game, or you don't know their specific game plan, but you know how they're thinking a little bit. So
Yeah.
it's definitely a nice to like be in the box and kind of understanding like what they're trying to do. Like if you feel like you have a good idea.
Do you think it's a little bit of a cheat code in the backs being a catcher, kind of understanding because of that? Like like obviously, like you don't know
Like
exactly what they're
yeah,
going to throw, you don't
I
know
would say
exactly what they're going to do, but you, like you mentioned, you know at
sure.
least somewhat of what they're going to try to do against you.
Yeah, I think I think just being a good hitter it's important to like have an idea of how the guy's trying to pitch you. Like
Yeah.
the score of the game, the count, what his tendencies are huge like tells regardless. But yeah, definitely like being a catcher, like if you know what like kind of shapes he throws, like you don't really have to like see it necessarily. You can kind of have a good idea of like what it's gonna look like when it comes out of his hand, or um like if it's somebody you've caught before, you have a huge advantage because
Oh yeah.
you catch him for like however many pitches, and then you have to go hit against it. Like it's not like it's a new thing. It's like you know exactly what it's gonna look like. So I would
Yeah.
say not that I've had that many experiences in college at least of catching guys and then turning around and facing them, but I definitely have had that happen in my life or like in practice, and it's like, yeah, you kind of know what you're getting here.
Which has to be a little bit fun. You
Which,
might smirk
yeah,
a little bit, smile a little bit, and you're like, okay, like, and obviously, like you know, like the person, like when you get the opportunity to do it, and then you also might know like the catcher as well. So that's just kind of the fun aspect of baseball, and especially being a catcher as well.
yeah, definitely.
So do you think, obviously I know you love playing catcher because you've played it for so long, but do you think like summer kind of solidified your enjoyment of it a little bit because of just how much you had to do it? Like that's going to, like if you want to play professional baseball, if you get drafted, that's going to be your life. Like you're
Yeah.
going to be catching almost every single day. You still go through that in college, but like that's going to be what you're going to experience. And then just what did you enjoy the most of the whole process throughout the summer?
Yeah, I think just the details of it. It's like a completely separate thing from being like just a normal position player. Playing another position, and all positions have like specialties to them. But as a catcher, there's so much more that you have to do, and there's so much more that um, it's just like taking ownership of it.
Yeah.
Like I feel like this summer I really just had to like understand like, all right, I got to keep catching and hitting completely separately. I have to be really detail oriented with catching because just like when you play that so many games, like, you don't wanna have a flaw, like, you don't wanna not be able to block a certain pitch or, like,
Yeah,
something like that because those will get noticed and then teams will start to run on you or something like that, or
exactly.
yeah, so I think it just, like it kinda just gave me a better insight to, like, how much really goes into every day when you're preparing to catch a game, especially with, like, a 9-inning game with, like, so many like, sometimes in Northwoods League, you'd have, like, 9 different pitchers or something crazy like that,
Yeah.
so, yeah, I would say it definitely solidified how much I like doing it because it's I don't know, I mean, it's just, like, I like catching and I like being the guy that can kinda control the game back there, and, especially when you have good preparation, it makes it a lot easier.
Exactly, and also when you're, like, against the Traverse City Pittsburghs, I'm sure there's probably some people that made comments as well. Like, it's just kind of part of the sports, part of, like, what you're kinda, like, I involved in, but would you say, like, the fans were kind of, like, what you enjoyed most about being a Growler? Like, it sounds like the fans were absolutely incredible. It sounds like you loved your time playing with
Yeah,
the Growler. It sounds like you were really close with the team as well. You guys had a very successful season, but like it sounds like truly kind of the atmosphere, the fans kind of doing the dancing, kind of doing the autographs afterwards. It sounds like those were really kind of the things that stood out to you a lot, even though you still
yeah.
have close connection with the coaches, the guys, stuff like that. And you, like I mentioned, had a successful season.
Yeah, absolutely. I obviously so like before I went to school, my freshman year, we had like a month before I reported. So I played like smaller summer ball, like college or
Okay.
college competition in summer. So like different, totally different in terms of like not a lot of fans, stuff like that. But like I
Yeah.
would say like the same kind of things because you connect with the guys in both aspects. But the thing I really liked about Kalamazoo is like you have 3,000 fans at your games and it's just a really fun environment, you do, like, a lot of fun stuff, obviously, with it's, like, player dancing or, like, in between innings, like, kids run around the base and stuff like that, and that's, like, definitely stuff that I'll remember a lot more than, like, the specific outcome of a certain game, if that makes sense.
Yeah. How much did your dancing improve throughout the season? I need to know, and how long did it take you to fully buy into the dancing aspect of it? Because when you first get there, like you're like, oh, I want to play baseball, but I have these things I have to do. I'm sure you probably bought and enjoyed a little bit more of that part the more you were there.
Yeah, it got better, it's still not great,
Still not great, not the
well
best.
so, like, it's actually funny, the first time so I didn't get there when the season started because I was still at Duke,
Yeah.
and then I get there in the first home game, they're like, "Alright, 4th inning, like, you guys are going out there and doing dance," and I'm like, "I don't know what it is." He's like, "No, just go to the back, follow everybody else." And I was like, "No, I literally don't know what you guys are doing." He's like, "It's fine." So I get out there, I'm probably looking stupid, standing there trying to fill in the blanks, and I'm not a dancer, so I don't really know what I'm doing regardless, but yeah, by the end of the year, I definitely liked it a lot more. I don't know if I got better,
Okay.
but I definitely, like, knew what I was doing a little bit more, so but even just, like even if it's bad, I think the fans like that too, so it was cool.
I was just gonna say, I feel like the fans just want to see
I
effort,
just
just
wanna
want
see
to
you
see
try.
people out there, right?
Yeah,
So.
yeah,
I was just gonna say, if you were in the stands, you probably would enjoy it a little bit as well. A
yeah,
little bit, like I said, kind of like the banana ball type feel, but not maybe the extent of what banana ball is. But
yeah.
I'm surprised. I know the Pittsburghs. I don't think the Pittsburghs do that, so I wonder if you guys are one of the only kind of teams that do that for the
I'm
most
not
part. I think
sure.
the Pittsburghs might have done it a little
They do,
bit,
like I
but
think all teams do something, maybe not like player dances. I know the Battle Jacks were a team that did that a lot,
okay.
but, like, I think it varies from team to team, but definitely big in Kalamazoo, so
Yeah, I've never been to a Growler game before, but I've heard great things. I know a friend of mine has been. There was like one time I think he went to a game where it was like the food was like really cheap or like all you can eat and like tickets were like
sounds
20
about
bucks
right.
or something like that. And I'm
Yeah.
like that sounds like my type of baseball to
Yeah,
me.
it's a good
So,
deal, it's a lot of fun, and, it's like summer ball, it's, like, it's very competitive, but
yeah.
also, like, lighthearted too, which is nice.
Exactly. And just speaking of like lighthearted fun stuff like that, what do you think are some of the best memories you had at Kalamazoo? Like, is it like a specific, like, do you have a specific game, like a specific moment, like maybe like a walk
Yeah,
off? Is it the series against the Travis City Pit Spitters? Like,
sure.
yeah,
So, I would say there's probably 2 that stick out to me. The 4th of July, we played the Pittsburghs at home, and I think we killed them. I think we won by a lot, and that was a
Okay.
lot of fun, like, fireworks after the game, we're sitting on the dugout watching fireworks, after a nice win, and yeah, like, it's kinda like what it's about, like, 4th of July, you have baseball, you have fireworks, you got probably I think it was a sold out stadium that day, so, like, a lot of fans there watching with you, and, after that, you just go sign autographs and then, like, go home and hang out with your friends, like,
Yeah.
it was a really good day, and, like, we took BP in, like, red, white, and blue instead of, like,
Oh,
our
that's awesome.
uniforms, which was so much fun. So that was probably my favorite day of the summer, but then another one I liked was we were on the road, playing Rockford, like, late in the year, and, um it was kinda like a boring not a boring game, but like a close game. I think it was low scoring, but I threw out a kid to end the game, and that was like a pretty good that was a pretty big game for our playoff chances, so
Okay.
that was a really fun moment too, and obviously, like, to end the game like that, that felt good. So that was another good one.
I was just gonna say there's probably no better feeling being a catcher than throwing someone out.
Yeah, it's awesome. Absolutely.
What's a better feeling? I'm gonna put you on the hot seat real quick. Picking someone at first base or throwing someone out at second or third?
Honestly, I like back picking. I like
You like
so
back picking?
well,
Okay.
because nobody expects it. Like, I think I had a few this summer that were pretty cool, and our first baseman, like, put a play on for it, and he was really good about, like, sensing when I wanted to do it. Um,
Okay.
so I definitely think I utilized the back pick a lot more this summer than I had previous summers, and it was just like I don't know, I would say that feels a little bit better because sometimes that can, like, bail your pitcher out, like, if you have bases
Yeah.
loaded, 2 outs, and you throw it for the guy at first, you're, like, out of the inning, and he doesn't have to do anything else on the mound, like, it just feels like a pick me up kinda, and I think that feeling feels they're both similar, but I think that
Okay.
one might be a little bit better, honestly.
I will put you on the hot seat one more. So you mentioned about obviously, let's say bases loaded, 2 outs. Back picking or having a huge block that keeps the score maybe a 1 point or 1 point game. Which one
Uh,
feels better? Which one would be more make you feel more pride about?
I don't know, you definitely get pride from blocking because it's a hard thing to do, obviously, and especially with the runner on third, like, you can't let a ball get by, so I don't know. I think they're both a great feeling, back picking, you do get the out and get out of the inning, so that's pretty cool too, so I
Yeah.
don't know, I'm gonna have to go with that one again just because
Okay.
you get your team out of the inning, but I think the blocking is like a self-pride thing that you don't get noticed by everyone else, but like, deep down, like, "Alright, like, I just saved that run right there."
Yeah, I was just going to say, it seems like a lot of catchers have a lot of pride for blocking. Like, it's not something
Yeah.
that a lot of people don't really think about or really don't like pay attention to. But like for a catcher to have a really good block, be really good at blocking, while it does take a toll, while it's probably not necessarily the most fun thing to practice. Like there's a lot of catchers that seem to truly take a lot of pride in that, knowing that hey, like the ball didn't get past me, or like the ball like never gets past me.
Yeah, well, you kinda have to take pride in it because it's really important, obviously, and, yeah, it's not necessarily always the most fun thing, but it's, like, something you need to do, and when you do it well, it obviously feels good.
Exactly. So before I kind of get into Northwestern here shortly, before we wrap up, I do want to ask you, just talk a little bit about like what the fans at the Growlers meant to you, how cool it was having like kids come up to you wanting your autograph. Like that has to be like a surreal moment, like a full circle moment. I'm sure as a kid you were there running up to players wanting their autograph. Like I'm sure it's probably something that is so rewarding and so cool being a part of and being a college athlete and signing those autographs for those kids.
Yeah, it was cool. I don't know, like you said, like, yeah, like, sometimes you'll just stand there and like, "Wow, like, I can't believe these kids, like, actually want my autograph," like, I was in the same position, like, a lot of like, when I was a kid, and,
Yeah.
like, I wonder if they know that, like, I was them, and, like, who knows, like, maybe some of those kids end up being, like, college baseball players and have, like, similar experience, which would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that was definitely, like, a full circle moment a little bit, yeah. And then just in terms of the fans, like, I really enjoyed the fans because I'm someone that would totally go just watch a minor league game or something like that in my free time, or, like,
Okay.
find, uh find some sort of baseball to go watch, whether it's, like, summer leagues or,
Oh yeah.
like something, like the Growl if the Growlers existed where I live, I would probably go watch them.
Yeah.
Um, so, like Yeah, I think it's interesting to see the fans because the fans that go to a Northwoods League game, like, obviously love baseball,
Yeah.
so I really appreciated, like, being around people that cared about, like, the games as much as we did, and, um, obviously, like, playing, like, high school sports or, like, college sports, you don't always know, like, there's parents, there's people that are just, like, kinda here, but, like, definitely I felt like in Kalamazoo, there was a lot of people that just, like, genuinely loved the Growlers and loved baseball, and that was really cool to be a part of because I really liked, like, getting to, like, play for Kalamazoo, I guess.
Yeah, because like you mentioned, like if that was a choice for you to go do, you would do the exact same thing. And I'm someone
Yeah,
that loves watching minor league baseball. I'm someone that loves watching college baseball as well. I go to quite a few games typically throughout the season. Like it's just a lot of fun watching baseball in general, watching people that love the sport, watching people that play at a very high level. And obviously you're gonna do that at Northwestern. Just what are you looking forward to and what are some of you guys' goals this upcoming year at Northwestern?
yeah, well, I'm just looking forward to, like, another chance to play college baseball, like, another season, like, obviously, I've had one, but it's at Duke, and it's probably gonna be a lot different than whatever this season entails, and
Yeah.
I'm excited because it feels like I sorta know what I'm getting into again, because last year I didn't feel like I did, but, um it's also new again too, like a new place and, like, new teammates, so I'm excited of having, like, the mix of both of that, and then just in terms of goals, I think we just wanna win as many games as we can and compete at a really high level. Obviously, we play in the Big Ten, so it's a great conference, and I just wanna do whatever I can to help the guys win, so, yeah.
Yeah, and then if you go to the Big Ten tournament, you're gonna be playing in Omaha,
In
which I'm
Omaha.
sure
Yeah.
probably as a kid you
Yeah, that'd be
dreamed about playing in Omaha.
Yeah, that would be great. I think they were like 1 win away last year, so I
Yeah.
really hope this year we can get kinda over that hurdle and hopefully way further, so, yeah, that would be super cool and gotta do a lot to get there, obviously, but that obviously would be really cool.
Yeah, no, and obviously, like, that's what the off season's for. Like, I'm sure that you guys are obviously finished fall ball little while ago, but like that's what like you're probably doing individual workouts now. Probably close to being done with school, you're gonna go back home, work out, and then come back in the spring and start getting ready for the season. And
Yeah.
obviously, this season in the spring is the most important part of it. But sounds like it's something that you're really excited about. I'm sure that you'll have fans come out support you guys. Do you guys have any like fun like trips, plans, or anything planned as of right now that you're really looking forward to? If you can't talk about it or if it hasn't been released, you don't have to say it. I don't want to get you in trouble.
No, you won't. It
But
actually just got released on social media today, I think, so,
okay, well, good
uh
timing by me. So
yeah, great timing. Heck yeah. I think we go out to Oregon, uh,
okay,
and then we stay out there and play Washington. Maybe it's Vi
okay,
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So, that'll be really cool. I've never been to that part of the country, so I'm looking forward to that selfishly, and, like, that's a cool part of being in the Big Ten. You get to go
yeah.
kinda the West Coast too. Um, I think we go to we play in the Minnesota Vikings dome
Oh,
too,
that's
which I'm
awesome.
really excited for that. So, I think that'll be cool. Um, but yeah, like we travel a fair amount to start the year just being in a cold place. And
Yeah.
last year we didn't travel at all. Like it was kind of just home games for the out of conference stuff early. So I'm
Okay.
excited for that part.
Yeah, because it looks like you guys start your travel on March 20th, go out to Oregon for a 3-game series, then go to Portland for a game, and then Washington following there. So you love having to go out to the West Coast to play baseball. Like that's just the cool thing. Like you mentioned about the Big Ten is like even like a few years ago, there was like no shot you going out west unless going to like a non-conference game. So that's just the
Right.
cool thing about getting the opportunity to go to those schools. But I want to end on one last thing. Just like, what kind of advice would you give to those people listening to this that want to play like college baseball? Like, what's something that you wish you knew at that time, maybe like a young kid, or wish you knew like while you're getting recruited that you know now?
Yeah, well, honestly, like the most important thing is just like loving the game. And I know it sounds
Yeah.
like kind of cliche, but like if you like truly love the game, you'll do whatever like you need to do. Um, like for me, it was like I needed to get bigger and stronger, and I needed to, like, improve mechanics and stuff like that, and just, like, as I'm playing, like, just keep improving a feel for the game and stuff like that, but, like, if you're a young kid and you love playing, like, just play as much as you can, honestly, like, um, I think the best skills get better when you're just constantly playing games, and, like, if you're just, like, very, like, locked into what you're doing, I feel like you're just gonna, like, uh, just get I don't know, just, like, get better, like, eat that, like,
Yeah.
experience and stuff like that, and yeah, like, if you're passionate about it, you're just gonna, like, focus on it all that much more, so I think that's obviously a really important thing. Also just, like, understanding that it's all like, all the process, like, you're gonna have days that are hard, you're gonna have days that are great, but, like, understanding, like, you don't really know where the game's gonna take you, so just, like, kinda, like, don't try to, like, take the wheel, if that makes sense, like, let it all come to you and, like, try to
Yeah.
do your best with that.
Yeah, like, just have fun throughout the process. Like, just
Yeah,
let it
exactly,
go
fun's more important, it
where
is
it goes.
right, absolutely, and, like, if you get a chance to play a child's game for, like not like it's our job, but it, like, kinda feels like it with at this level, it's just, like that's really awesome that, like, you get to do this every day. It's like a blessing to play, so, just always remembering that is nice.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's some days where it's probably easy to remember that, where you're like, "Oh, it's just a childhood game. This is something I played for a long time." And then there's other days where you're like, "Yeah, this feels more of like a job, or maybe not as fun as I
Yeah.
remember it being." So,
Yeah, definitely, but
but
good to have
obviously, like that's the cool thing about being a college athlete is you get those both experiences.
for sure.
But yeah, no, I really appreciate you joining, man. It's been
Absolutely, thanks for
a
having me.
ton of fun. I would love to have you back on, talk a little bit more about maybe how the season goes. I know you might not necessarily 100% know what your future looks like, but obviously with this being your second year, hopefully we'll be maybe talking about you being a professional baseball player, maybe get drafted in a few years as well. I'm sure that's probably a goal
Yeah,
of
that'd be awesome.
yours.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, I really appreciate you joining, man. It's been a ton of fun. Hopefully you had fun as well. I always say to anyone that ever joins is if you ever want to come back on, would absolutely love having you back on. I'm sure there's probably so much more that we could talk about, but I don't want
sweet.
to hold
Yeah, heck
you
yeah,
any longer. But thanks again for
all
joining,
good.
man. It's been fun.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it, and yeah, it's been fun. Great getting to talk to you. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is a wrap to episode number 523. Thank you again to Jay for joining and tune in to the next episode.